this is another video in my 2018 reading plans, which I talked about this a little bit in my TBR goals that I posted, my reading goals at the beginning of the month. But I do want to diversify my reading. I want to read a little, just not read majority of YA mostly, and I also want to diversify my genres that I'm reading. So this series TBR books that I want to start are adult series and middle grade series. There are of course some that are not on this list, but I just pulled the books that I was most intrigued by, or the books that I have at least one or two in the series. So the first book we're going to chat about is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I literally have owned this book 9 different times. So when I saw him at New York City Comic Con this year, I just bought it and got it signed so I would not lose it. But this is an adult series, I think. His wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by a longing for justice and memory of lost love, Daryl will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do it. So I know that this is a 4-book series, and my friend Carolina is in love with this series. She collects everything that he all the arcs and everything. So hopefully I like it. I've literally had this book for so long. It's actually kind of short too. It's only a little bit over 300 pages. So hopefully I like it. Last year for my birthday, my friend Sarah gave me the first 3 in the Robin Hobb series, The Assassin's Apprentice, and this is just pure fantasy. It's just an adult series. I know that he is I think he's 17 or 18 in it, so he's probably still YA age, but he's a bastard son of a noble raised in the shadows of the royal court by his father's gruff saleman. He is treated by an outcast by all royal except the devious King Shrewd, who was him secretly tutored in the arts of the assassins. From in Fitz's blood runs the magic skill and the darker knowledge of a child raised by the stable hounds and rejected by his family. As the barbarous raids rave the coast, Fitz is growing to manhood. Soon he will face the first dangerous soul-shattering mission, and though some regard him as a threat to the throne, he may just be the key to the survival of the kingdom. It sounds really cool, and again, this book is actually on the longer side. It's right at 420. But hopefully I like it. I've heard really good things about Robin Hobbs, and I have a couple other of her books on my shelves, not in this series. But I don't know, it sounds really interesting, and my friend Sarah says she really enjoys the series, so hopefully I like it as well. The next book is back to the middle grade, and it's The Keeper of Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. And this is about a 12-girl named Sophie, who she is a telepath, but being a telepath is very anti in the society. So she goes on the run when she finds a friend who has the same power as hers, and they're a secret berries and associate family that other people desperately want. I know that this is a part of a 5-book series. I just heard about this on Regan's channel, and I already had book 1, so I said, you know what, I'll add this to my TBR, and hopefully I get to it. Another middle grade series that I really hope to read this year is The Avenger Guild by Nick Clark and Ek Eliphalis. And this is just, I remember getting pitched to this at Comic-Con or BEA one year. It just follows these 2 kids, Zed and Brock, and they have high hopes for the future. Zed just wishes to join the ranks of the Magic Guild, where his status as a Freestom's only half-elf might finally be an asset. Brock, the roguishly charming son of a merchant, is confident he'll be welcomed into the Merchants Guild. But just as it seems the boyhood come true, their lives take a startling turn. They find themselves members of the perilous Avengers Guild. I think the Avengers Guild is a group of people that stops the world from being overrun by demons. And I do have the first 2 books in this series, so hopefully I get to this has been on my TBR for so long this year, and I've just never got to it. But hopefully I can get to read it soon. Another adult book that I have at this point 3 books is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and I did read her middle grade book, and I actually really enjoyed it. But this is A Bear and the Nightingale, a magical debut novel of the Bear and Nightingale spends an irresistible spell as it announces the arrival of a single talent with gifted and gorgeous voice, and this takes place in the Russian wilderness. I think it has to do with magic. Sounds really interesting, and I've heard really good things about this from Regan. So hopefully I like it. I had literally all of these books I have been reading about from Regan's channel, so she has been a very big influence in my reading life the next couple of months, hopefully. And Vicious by Victoria Schwab. I actually won a copy of this from somewhere. My cards fell. I actually know nothing about this. I know that there's two people. They're college roommates that turn out to be enemies, and there's like a magical competition. And I know that Vengeful just came out. It is also on my bookshelf. These covers are so pretty. So hopefully I like this. I really know nothing of what it's about, but I know that everyone that has read it has really enjoyed it. And the next book the last book I'm going to try in this video is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, Part 1. These books are monsters. This book, Part 1 of Book 1, is just around 500 pages, which shows me that these books are monsters. I think they're like about 1,000 pages each. So breaking it down in this way makes it a little bit more manageable for me to actually read, and I think I will probably continue reading this like this. But this cover is so pretty. I know Reagan adores this series, so hopefully I have similar results. So these are just some of the series that are on my TBR for the middle grade and adult series. Let me know if you have read these series and your non-spoiler thoughts, or if these series are also on your TBR for 2019. And I will talk to you next week for another video. Bye!